Hello, friends. Welcome to week 13 and welcome to unit number 4. So this is sort of your opportunity to put everything you've learned this semester into practice and sort of show off your skills. I want to go through sort of the basic stuff we're going to do this week. Then I'll introduce the Essay 4 assignment, and as part of doing that, I kind of want to talk through sort of what we've done so far this semester and where we're going to go. All right, so by Monday, November 4th, so complete and submit your Essay 3 final draft. That's right here. I will note, of course, that is I pushed that due date back from last Thursday. Read the Essay 3 assignment. Again, I'll show you that in a second. Write and submit your Essay 4 introduction, and please watch this quick video on the research process. It's not actually about how to find sources, so much as about how to think about research questions, and should help you a little bit as we get moving with text number 4. And then finally, by November 17th, that's that Thursday, I want you to write your Essay 4 proposal. There's a sample and a template here that you can utilize. Okay, let's take a look at the assignment, and then I'll sort of talk about how all the rest of this ties in. All right, so this is the text Essay 4 assignment, okay? So ordinarily, I might ask you to write your long essay on one of a couple specific topics. We used to be really big on just giving you a topic and having you do research on it. But part of 102 is about information literacy. It's about identifying when you have an information need, finding and analyzing answers, and presenting that material in a report, okay? And that's really what we're asking you to do here, to identify a need, find and analyze your answers, and then present that material in a report. Of course, part of this is identifying the information need, discovering a topic. Okay, so Essay 4 is a 7 to 10 page. Yes, that is correct. Yes, that is required by the state. No, you cannot drop my class and go take somebody else's class who will ask you to write a shorter paper, because we all do this. Okay, Essay 4 is a 7 to 10 page investigative rather than informative research paper focused on solving a practical problem. Okay, so some really key things here. It's investigative rather than informative. Okay, an informative research paper might be like the kinds of food that African elephants eat, or the treatment mechanisms for cancer. These things are informative. It is known information, and you would just be presenting it to the audience. Something that's investigative, however, is something that doesn't have a clear answer, and that your job is to work towards that clear answer. Okay, and I'll give you some more examples in a minute. So, number 1, for the proposal, which is due this week, and that is actually due on Thursday, next week. In the proposal, I'd like you to propose a topic and a research question. What your information need is. It should be laid out in a 1-page document, arguing why it's a worthwhile topic to study. And again, there's a template and sample there. Now, I will say, if there are unresolved questions from your earlier research that you want to do more work on, that's fine. Just recognize it's a jumping off point. Okay? I'm also glad to help you give some guidance as to whether or not it'll work. Okay, when in doubt, go small rather than large. I know everyone's tendency is to want to go to the biggest, broadest question they can because it's a long paper. What tends to happen there? We end up writing an informative paper, just like puking all the information we can find about topic X onto the page. We really do want to dig in and focus a lot, and that will actually generate more content, I promise. So, the proposal should include the topic, the practical problem, the research question, and an explanation of why this is a topic you can study, that's worthy of study, and that you can handle in 7 to 10 pages. Okay? There are some topics that students like to write about that there's not a 10-page paper topic. They're a book topic, or a series of books topic, or 20 years of research topic, which is not something we can cover in a single paper. All right. 7 to 10 pages, 2,500 words-ish, type double-spaced, MLA font, okay? How many sources do you need? This is always a question that comes up. We need as many sources as are necessary to answer the research questions. If you can do it in one, it's an informative paper. All you're doing is summarizing, explaining somebody else's research. If it's like 30 different outside sources, it's probably just too big to handle in a 7 to 10 pages, okay? I would probably think high single digits, low double digits for how many sources. Okay, but that's just kind of a rough estimate. All right, so some hints. Again, trying to get us away from informational things, and a lot of things that people like think are investigative are actually informational. So how can we stop obesity? Well, it seems like it could be investigative. It's a question. It's not just like, what elephants eat. But we know the answer to this. More exercise, better diet, right? Those two things we know will basically stop obesity. Okay? That answer is known. What's the best treatment for lupus? Again, that's something that doctors know. It may not be 100% perfect. It may not work every time, but they know there's like a course of treatment. We know what the best treatment is. You get diagnosed, and then doctors kind of go into checklist mode. Okay, in that case, we're going to start here, move here, and then do that. Okay, so we're going to focus on some very specific issues or problems that need to be addressed. Okay, what technological innovation can do the most to decrease traffic fatalities? Okay, so it's a pretty specific thing. What would we need to know in order to be able to answer this question about traffic fatalities? We'd need to know where traffic fatalities most often occur, what the causes of those things are, what technological things exist that could reduce the incidence of those, and we have to find sort of the most practical, most pragmatic, best one. Okay, again, and this is the art of investigation. How can we convince people to diet more and exercise more is more investigative than informative, right? We don't necessarily, if we knew how to convince people to exercise more and eat less, we wouldn't have an obesity problem in this country, okay? That becomes an investigative question because we don't know the answer. We know the answer on how people should, what people need to do to lose weight. We don't know how to convince people to do it. I don't know how to convince myself to do it. So, okay, think investigative. All right, I want to go back and take a look over this week's work, and I'll kind of talk about how all this fits in. Okay. Our first two essays this semester were analytical pieces. The goal of those essays was to analyze source quality. Okay, we wanted to look at whether or not those popular articles did a good job. We wanted to look at whether or not, or how to handle multiple scholarly studies, how to effectively evaluate a scholarly study for credibility. Essay 3 is sort of a baby research paper. We start with a research question. Okay, is this meme or piece of news accurate? We try to go find more reputable, more scholarly, stronger pieces of information to confirm or deny the claims made in that. Okay. Essay 4 is a full spectrum research paper. Okay, and the research process video actually walks you through what that means. Essay 3 is peer research, research question, research answer. Essay 4 is going to be fall into what we call the research process. It's got 4 steps to it. Okay, practical problem, a research question, a research answer, a practical solution. Those 4 steps. And so I mentioned the practical problem when we talked about the essay assignment, and the practical problem comes up again in this research process video. So please take a look at that. Now, okay, the other thing we'll see here, the essay 4 introduction is actually due on Monday before the proposal. Why? Because the single most important thing you do in a research project like this is to identify the problem, to identify the situation, to identify what the issue is that you need to investigate to try to fix. We should know all that information before we propose a topic or propose a research question, okay? So if my topic is traffic fatalities, I should know some background information about why we're doing this. I'll give you a great example of this. Every once in a while, I have a student who wants to write about teen pregnancy, and they put their proposal together, and they tell me that teen pregnancy is at its highest level ever, and something needs to be done about it. If you go take a look at the statistics, go look at the science, go look at the scholarly articles about this, teen pregnancy is actually at its lowest level in like 50 or 60 years. Okay. It's that background information that helps you to decide whether or not this is a good topic to write about. Now, you can still write about teen pregnancy. You just have to recognize that the rates of teen pregnancy are already decreasing. Okay, so maybe we want to look at a different tact rather than try to reduce teen pregnancy, which seems to be happening on its own. Maybe we want to figure out what teen parents lack or something of that sort. Okay, so again, it can still be a practical problem, but we need to sort of understand what the current situation about that problem is before we can even put a proposal together. So write that introduction where we lay the problem out. That's our goal with the introduction. And then you can just kind of pose a question or suggest that we need to try to find an answer to it, something of that sort as your thesis statement. We can come back to and tweak that after the fact, but I want you to get all that background information together, including a little bit of what we might call pre-search, just sort of knowing enough about the topic before we actually get into the proposal and actually thinking about our research question. Okay, so that is this week. I'm really excited. I love this paper because I get to read a bunch of completely different papers. If you've got questions along the way, you want to chat about your topic possibilities, you want to shoot me some emails and say, hey, here are the things I'm thinking of. Can you help me kind of refine? Glad to chat. Please just reach out.